Welcome to the Work in Process podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Now, I'd like to encourage you that every tip, idea, and principle you hear on this podcast, ensure that you practice them. Without practicing them, they are going to become very useless. I'm also practicing some of these tips. I'm also practicing some of these principles. And it has not been easy, but I've been seeing results in some areas of my life, and I'm super excited. So if you also want to see results, please ensure that you are practicing this tip. It's not just enough to write things down, take notes, and listen. Please ensure that you are practicing this tip. So you can take a week. Okay, I want to practice this concept for a week. I want to practice this principle for a month. So practicing is what makes you purposeful, basically. So if you're not practicing, you're not going to see the result. So I'm encouraging us, please let us practice what we hear and listen to on the podcast. And guess what? That's why I made the episodes very short, so we can get straight to the point and the main ideas can be communicated across quickly. So you can listen to this podcast when you're going to class, just having your normal day, when you wake up in the morning, or when you're about to sleep at night. So you get a concept and an idea that you want to practice for the week, for the day. So it's very short. You don't need to listen to a very long episode, Just one episode in a day is enough. Then you practice the concept, the principle, and the idea for a week. And the more you practice, the more results you see. So you can't continue to live your life in the same way forever. You can't continue to be the same for the rest of your life. And that is why change is very important. And that's why we're going to be talking about self-development today. So there has to be a change at one point in your life, either positive or negative, forward or backward. You have to decide that you want to change. And the power of choice is in your hands. If you are not developing, you are going to be stinking, because nobody basically wants to talk to you. A 25-year-old man or woman cannot spend 2 hours talking to someone that is 2 years old. And that's the same thing that applies with self-development. So if you are growing, you basically want to talk to other people that are growing. And if you are growing, you don't want to talk to someone that is not growing or not developing, basically. So the person is stinking. So I came across this definition of self-development on a dictionary online, and it says self-development is a process of consciously improving oneself in various aspects of his or her life. It is the intentional pursuit of personal growth. I like this definition basically because it contains everything I believe in and I agree with. That self-development is a process and it is an intentional pursuit of personal growth. So you have to do it by yourself. It's personal. It's just going to be done by yourself. Nobody can do it for you. So all of life is about development and growth. And the best gift you can offer your friends, your family, your spouse is self-development. In fact, the best gift you can offer yourself is that you develop yourself. You keep on growing every day. Here are some of my thoughts on self-development. Self-development is hard, but it can be made easy. Naturally, human beings enjoy doing the easy stuffs, but we run away from the hard things. I do that also most of the times. I don't want anything that is very hard or that will stress me. But I've come to discover that sometimes some hard things needs to be done for me to achieve the result that I want. But what I mean by hard here is basically putting in the work required for your development. You get the result only when you put in the work. So the catch here is that it can be made easy. So let's be sincere. Easy too is work, but the work of easy is a soft work. I know some people are like, oh, why do you make it sound so simple? Well, one of the ways self-development can be made easy is through habit creation. Remember that we human beings, we are creatures of habits, basically. And habits are the things that we do repeatedly that then becomes automatic. So you do it without thinking. For example, when the power supply is out in your house, for those of us that are living in Nigeria, you can successfully locate and move about the room in your house, because basically this is what you do every day. So you go in and out of those rooms every day. So when there's no light or there's no power supply, you know how to locate every room in the house. And some of us, most especially the kitchen, you know where it is. So habit creation is the conscious establishment of behaviors or thoughts in an attempt to improve yourself. So the best way to make self-development easy is by making it an habit. I want to become better every day. How do I make it an habit? What do I do that becomes an habit that contributes to me being better every day? One book I will recommend on this episode of the podcast, which I would like you guys to engage with, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have read the book. A lot of other people have read the book. This book is a classic and it's a popular book. So for those of you that don't like reading, please read it because it's just a popular book. And then you see what I'm talking about. So if you would like to implement some tiny changes into your life and get remarkable results, this book is important for you. So now, when I say make the habit easy, I mean start from where you are. Start small. Start from the 1%. Start from those tiny things. You don't need to start, big and grand. You can apply to every aspect of your life what you have learned from another aspect. So if you want to read more book this year and you haven't read any book before, you have to start little. You can't just take a book and say, I want to read this book finish in 1 week, and you've not been reading before. So first you have to start by placing the book on your bed, before you sleep at night. You make the book obvious where you can see them. So basically that's what I also do when I want to, read a book. Even when I was in school and I want to read and engage with maybe a magazine or a book, I make sure I place that thing where I can see them. And I've been practicing this even before I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So I'm encouraging you to also do that. Then you start with 1 page per night. You understand? Make it easy. Just a page per night. Don't go to, I must finish 50 pages today. No, start with a page per night. So then you'll be like, okay, I read a page before I go to bed. So it becomes a routine. So you can't sleep until you have read a page. So gradually like that, you finish the book. And before you know it, you become a reader. In fact, a voracious reader. So that's what I want to talk about today. To make self-development easy, you have to create an habit around it. Look for a way to create an habit around what you want to become good at. I urge you guys to utilize these principles of making your habits easy, for self-development, and see how it works actually. Thank you for listening. Remember, self-development can be made easy by habit creation. Thank you for joining me again today. Bye.